Hey guys, and welcome back to the Miss Kena channel. So today I am doing another interview of another exceptional medical student, and this one is from the St. James School of Medicine School, which if you have been watching my channel, you know that I am also a student at this medical school as well here in the Caribbean. So this individual is very special, and honestly, we could have actually met prior to medical school. Whenever I was thinking about going into graduate school, he happened to go to one of the schools that I was applying, and I actually toured there with my family. And it's just amazing to see that this individual came from the university or a place that I was considering, and in just like one moment or one decision made things, not occur the way that they're supposed to. However, I am so excited to have the privilege to sit down with future Dr. Tolu, and he will be joining us soon. So I just want to say a big thank you to Mr. Tolu, future Dr. Tolu, and I do also want to have you guys welcome him with a clap, or just we're going to snap just to welcome him to the Miss Kena channel for the very first time. So let us get started. Well, thank you so much, future Dr. Tolu, for coming on to the Miss Kena channel. So I guess we are ready to start the interview.
I'm ready.
All right, I like that spirit. So tell us a little bit about where you are as a medical student right now in the St. James School of Medicine program.
I know I've been introduced, but I like to say my name. So my name is Tolu Animi Ogbomide.
Woo!
But I go by Tolu.ogb. And you asked me where I am in my training right now at St. James.
Yes.
So I'm at the halfway point, thankfully. I have completed the basic sciences program at St. James, and I am prepping to transition to the clinical sciences portion of the program. And in between that, you have to take the USMLE Step 1 exam. So
and we're going to get there, because I know you guys are watching. Y'all have questions. I have questions, okay? So we're going to get to all that.
Yes, so I'm in the middle of prepping for that exam.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So please describe yourself as a youth, or describe your childhood, just whatever you want to tell us, whether your hometown,
Whoa.
where you're from,
Okay.
where you're born. Who were you? Were you the popular kid? Were you the jovial guy in class? Who are you as a child?
Thank you for asking that question. If I had to describe myself as a youth or to describe my childhood, I would say I had an eventful childhood. I'm a big extrovert, so I definitely was the class. I was never the class clown, actually, because I was a bit more serious. But
You sure?
I was never the class clown.
Okay.
I always allowed some specific people to take those roles. But in summary, I was a social young man. I played sports in high school and college. I played the drums. Football, what Americans will call soccer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
play soccer too.
it's called football.
Okay.
Actually, you play it with your foot. So, not the most musically inclined guy. I played the drums. I wish I had picked up the guitar or piano. But
okay.
no regrets. I did well at school. I was generally the intelligent kid. Math came very well for me.
Wow.
Which wasn't the case for most people, but I say I had a good childhood. I had a lot of experiences. I participated in competitions, representing my school. When I look back, I had a lot of experiences that helped make me the man that I am today.
Wow. So yeah, we're gonna get to that. So the next question is, what is your why for entering into medicine? For some people, that starts in their childhood, right? How they grew up. Maybe their parents were doctors. Maybe they were raised up in a farm, like myself. And so that's where you get your love for life. So tell us about your why for pursuing medicine?
My first experience with medicine was actually through my father. My dad is a pediatrician in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
And he's a great pediatrician at that. He has a clinic he runs, and he consults with other hospitals in the area. And that was my first experience in medicine. And he would actually treat me at home. So whenever I fell sick, I hardly was admitted to the hospital. I would just be in my room, and every night I would get checkups with the physician, which was my dad. And it was just nice to see how he handled that position with grace. Even as my father, he still gave me quality care. And so that was my first experience with medicine, and I thought this was something I might want to do.
Okay.
And from high school to college, the decision, I will not lie, I have wavered.
You wavered?
I have wavered in that decision of whether or not to become a physician, because
Okay.
it is a big undertaking. You don't just watch these medical TV shows and think that's what it's about. And I had wrong motivations for going into it at certain points, but all those experiences together have brought me to this point now where I know for sure that I want to become a physician in the near future and provide care to people.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, you could have gone anywhere, right? Why did you choose to become a medical student here in the Caribbean?
Yeah, I like to joke that I didn't choose the Caribbean. The Caribbean chose me.
Somebody said that to me too, actually.
But circumstances of life and some guidance from mentors brought me here.
Okay.
I will admit this was not my initial plan.
Okay.
But like most of us will come to find, life doesn't always go as planned.
Yeah.
So I initially wanted to go to school in the go to medical school in the United States.
Okay.
But that didn't work out for me financially, and just in terms of time. I applied, didn't get in, and this option opened itself up for me, and I sought counsel and prayed about it, and here I am.
Okay.
But I'm loving it so far. The Caribbean is an excellent place to be. So many experiences.
Yeah. So, I know this is like, everybody has their own answer, but a lot of people have been asking me. And so, how do you study as a medical student?
How do you study as a medical student?
Yes. How do you prepare for exams? How do you regurgitate information? How do you memorize things?
Yes. Studying as a medical student is something that is dynamic. It's going to change from the first day you get into medical school up until you graduate. You're going to do more of certain things and do less of other things. But I will say you need to reduce the amount of cramming you do. We do a lot of cramming in high school and college just to get by.
Do we even study?
Yes. People could argue that a lot of people have never studied until they got to medical school.
Or college.
Or college.
Yeah, that was the first time I actually studied.
So you're going to need to, there's some things that are hard facts that you're just going to have to memorize with the help of flashcards and memory devices. But ultimately, you want to get the fundamental principles of a lot of the things you learn in medical school, because that would help you build your knowledge as you progress. And like we know, the field of medicine is ever evolving. So when you become a doctor and there's a new disease or there's a new drug, you need that baseline to be able to know how to then incorporate that into your knowledge at the time. But I will say, med school is best done not alone. So a good way to study in medical school is to have some form of an accountability buddy, some form of study partner. Now, you're not going to necessarily study together, but it would be nice to have someone that meets up with you at the end of the week to review things, someone that asks you questions, because that gives you an opportunity to explain what you know, or realize that you actually don't know that thing you thought you knew as well. So that's, I actually say that's one of the most important ways to study in medical school, is to just have some form of a partner that is with you on that journey. That just really helps to keep you in check. But otherwise, you want to use your textbooks well. Study ahead of classes. That's a big thing. You can get by in college with not studying ahead of classes, but in medical school, a lot of your professors expect a lot of you, and you actually get more from their lectures when you've reviewed the PowerPoint slides or the concepts with a YouTube video of some sort ahead of time. That helps create hooks in your brain, such that when you're now learning that information from your professor or studying after class, you're able to consolidate that information better. But those are the two things. Those are the two things I would say studying medical school.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. That's really good advice.
Thank you. I got it from other people.
I know. Like, nobody knows everything, okay? You come in and you talk to other people, find out how they do things, and then you start incorporating into your life or into your study habits.
Yes.
All right. So tell us about life here on the island. What's life like for you?
Life on the island, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, because I came to the island in the middle of the pandemic. So I came to the island.
Really? Tell us about that. My goodness. You came to the island in the middle of the pandemic?
I did.
How did you even get here?
On a flight.
I mean, I get how you got here, but it's like...
So what had happened was,
yeah, please
most
tell
of my
us.
class was still
Online,
attending classes on an online learning platform. So there wasn't too much student activity when I moved to the island, as other people that move at other times when there's not a pandemic. So there was no there was no welcome party for me. There was no.
I didn't have a welcome party.
But most people would have stuff like that to help you get used to life on the island, and you know, the food and everything. But being a naturally curious person, I found my way around. One thing for me, because I'm a Christian, it was important for me to find a home church as soon as possible, because those were people that I knew definitely shared certain values with me. So that was something I knew was going to help make my transition as smooth as possible. So I found a local church here. So meeting people there really helped me integrate into the society. And then as time went on, I met a few of my schoolmates and classmates as the pandemic progressed, and there was vaccines and things were opening back up.
Wow.
But the life on the island is amazing. Beaches, I've never lived so close to so many beaches at a time. I will say it does get the novelty does wear off. Like you get
used to it, and then it just becomes an everyday thing. Let's go to the beach.
Yes. So when you first come, you're so excited. I remember I was at the beach a lot more than I should have been. And then you try the island cuisine, the food, the games, dominoes. I mean, if you're on the island.
All right. So you'll be leaving the island soon. So what is one good memory that you have here? Just one.
I will say, well, it's not, I guess some people might not see it as good, but I did experience the eruption of Laissez-Faire. I did experience the eruption of Laissez-Faire. It was sometime in April 2021.
Sorry, I opened up my mouth too wide. Oh my gosh, you've gone through a lot.
We're currently in Arnosville of St. Vincent, and this was considered a green zone at the time. There was areas that were closer to the actual volcano, and those people had to evacuate. And some moved to neighboring countries, Barbados. Countries were kind enough to send cruise liners to actually pick up people.
I see.
But I didn't have to move. I stayed put because I lived in what was considered a green zone at the time. We still did get the ash. It's interesting how those things work because of how the wind blows. Barbados actually got a lot of the ash from the eruption in the volcano in St. Vincent because of how close those islands are to each other.
That's true.
But we had heard of it, and for me, I just I typically don't like to panic, like, and that sometimes is good for me and sometimes it's bad for me because so when we heard of the volcano, a few people just made plans to leave the island and things of that nature. But I had just gotten here, and that might have been because that might have been partly because I had just been 2 months from me on the island. So for me, I really didn't want to have to leave and come back again because I just got here.
And you were fearful for your life?
Well, because like I said, I was in the green zone.
Okay.
I was in the if I was in the red zone, I would have evacuated.
Hey, my African people watching, a volcano is a volcano. Okay.